Okay, so once you're here, you want to chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to put 2 double crochets into the first stitch. So you're going to put a double crochet into this one. So this is 1, and then another one, after you do that, then you're going to do 3 double crochets. You're going to do 1, 2, and then 3. So now it should look like this. You have the 3 there and then 3 right here. There should be like a hole in the middle, okay? And then you're gonna keep going. You're gonna chain 2 again. 1, 2. You're gonna do 3 double crochets again. So just like the other corner, there's a hole right here, and then after that you should have another hole. But we're not done yet, so we're going to keep on going, and then you're going to chain 2. You're going to do 3 double crochets, and then once you do the 3 double crochets, you're going to chain 2 again, and then you're going to slip stitch in your initial chain 2. So then right here, you're just going to make a slip stitch just like that. So at the end of row 1, you should have a circle in the center that fits your cap. So now would be a good time to check if it fits. For row 2, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets into this hole, okay? So this is 1 double crochet, that's 2, this is 3, and then you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to chain, then you're going to do 3 double crochets. So this is 1, this is 2, and then the 3rd. So after that, you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to do the exact same thing in the next spot. You're going to chain 1 and then put the exact same thing into this hole. And then after this, you're going to chain 1. Going to chain 1 in the next spot, and then you're going to do the exact same thing into this 4th and final hole of this row. For the most part, this is how the entire pattern is going to go. So I want to be very clear now so that there isn't too much confusion So then after you do this, you're going to slip stitch into the second chain of the initial chain 3. Chain 1, chain 2, this is chain 3, but we are supposed to slip stitch. We are going to slip stitch into chain 2. Okay. Yep, just like that. And then boom. Once we do that, this is where we are, the end of row 2. This is what it looks like. Row 3, you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to do 2 double crochets in the first chain 1 spot, which is right here. So 1, 2 in this hole, and then you're going to chain 1. I know it doesn't say so in the pattern, but I think it just makes sense for clarity, but the pattern doesn't include that chain 1. But then you're going to do 3 double crochets, 2 chain 2, and then 3 double crochets into this first corner. So that's what we're going to do now. And I'm just going to continue on with the rest of the pattern. So we're going to chain 1 and then 3 double crochets into this spot right here. And then you're going to chain 1. You're going to do 3 double crochets. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to do 3 more double crochets. So you can sort of see the pattern beginning to form. I'm just going to speed through the rest of this row and meet you at the end. So I've done most of row 3 of this pattern, but now I did the last corner that they wanted, and now we're coming up to this area where we did the chain 2 at the beginning of this row and then the 2 double crochets. So in the pattern it says chain 1, so I'm going to chain 1 and slip stitch to the top of the initial chain 2. So this is the initial chain 2, that's chain 1, that's chain 2, so I'm going to slip stitch into this chain 2. And for row 4 you need to chain 1, 2, 3 and put in 3 double crochets into this chain 1 space. Then you're going to chain 1 and do 3 double crochets into this corner, and then chain 2 and then 3 double crochets. So at the end of row 4, the pattern says to chain 1 and slip stitch into the second chain from the initial chain 3, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to do 2 double crochets into this spot right here so that it would look good, so that it makes sense and it doesn't look different from the way this pattern has been going so far. So I'm gonna slip stitch into the second chain, but I have added 2 double crochets into that spot. So You can make note of that if you want to change it or if you want to do it the way I did it. This is how it looks right now. Chain 2, and then you're going to do 2 double crochets into this first one. So at the end of this one, after you do 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 spot, you're going to chain 1, slip stitch into the top of chain 2. So then it looks like this. At the beginning of the 6th row, you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to put 3 double crochets into the next spot where you chained 1 in the last row. Towards the end of row 6, it says that you should chain 1, which I have already done, and then 2 double crochets into the last chain 1 space. So this is 1, and then this is 2 double crochets. And then it says slip stitch to the second chain of the initial chain 3. This is the end of row 6. For row 7, we are going to start off by chaining 2, and then putting 2 double crochets into this spot right here. You are going to slip stitch into the initial chain 2, which is right here. And now we are done with row 7. Moving on, we are going to begin the final row, which is row 8. We're going to begin by chaining 3. You're going to chain 3. And then you're going to put 3 double crochets into the next spot, which is right here. Alright, so I'm coming up on the end of the 8th row. I've already chained 1. So we just need to do 2 double crochets into this chain 1 spot. That's 1. And then 2. After you do 2 double crochets, you need to do a slip stitch to the second chain of the initial chain 3, which we've done before, so it's just going to be 1 and then 2 into this second chain. And then once you do that, you can tighten it. I like to chain 1 and then cut it, but you can just leave it at that. This is what it looks like. For my graduation hat, I made it in white. So this is the front of my graduation hat. This is the back. Because my graduation hat is blue, I ended up using some blue thread to, hand sew the corner of this hat. So I did it for the left corner. I did the same thing for this right corner. And then I did it for my left corner. This is the front. So the front is going to lift unless you don't, sew it down. So I'd suggest that you shouldn't sew down the front corner of your graduation hat, just so that you can be able to move your tassel whenever you need to. So if you need a bigger graduation hat, I'd suggest continuing to make rows based off the patterns and trying to go off that. Also, if you wanted to look at how I created this graduation hat with all of these flowers and these bees, then you can go to my last video and watch it. I'll link it. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye!